Greetings, I welcome you all to today's class. It's me, Samyo Hangma Rai. We will be studying an exciting topic that is writing a news story and news article. Let's begin the class now.
Before we get into learning how to write a newspaper article or a news story, we must first understand what is the difference between these two articles. So, firstly, in point number one, newspaper articles are general facts and opinions, and news story is a factual description of an event. So, the newspaper article is only published in newspapers or print media. However, news story it is published in multiple formats such as print, online, broadcast, multimedia, etc. Newspaper articles are generally written not only by journalists but it is also written by guest writers, contributors, etc. However, news stories are solely written by journalists and reporters who take time to investigate and to get proper details. A newspaper article can consist of broad ranges of format, topics, and viewpoints. As mentioned in point number one, it is also an opinion based article, hence, multiple viewpoints can also be presented. However, in terms of news story, it is solely written about the latest events, activities, developments in the world. And not only that, but news story is also about updating the world about what is currently happening. Newspaper articles are concise and they have a structured format for printing. However, a news story can vary in its length. It can be either briefly written or it can be done in depth. So, in writing a news story, this is the sort of format that you, as a writer, are supposed to follow. Follow the inverted triangle technique, where the most important information is written at the very top and the least flows towards the end. So, our news story is generally divided into three portions. The first paragraph talks about what has happened, to whom, where it happened, when did it happen, and how did it happen. Basically, it addresses our WH question. The body portion, it elaborates the WH questions in further details. And if possible, if quotations are mentioned somewhere, then you are free to mention their quotes here as well. And towards the end, we generally write about what is the current situation of the incident that has taken place. For example, if a robbery had taken place, what is the situation of the robbery? Have the robbers been caught? Are the police still investigating? Are there any people under suspicion? Things like that. Generally, when we write our news story, we begin with a headline on top, that also in the center alignment of our copy, the byline, where we mention our name because we are the authors. Or in another scenario, in most cases, you are not given an identity. However, you as a student, you're supposed to remember to write down your name as the reporter by whatever is your name. When was it written and what is the address of wherever the incident has taken place. Next, like I mentioned, the most important information is mentioned in our first paragraph, which is also called the lead paragraph. The lead paragraph is extremely important as it catches the reader's interest or their attention, and all of the most important information is written here. Do not worry about giving or writing in further details because all of the detailed elaboration you will do so in the next paragraph. As mentioned in our inverted triangle diagram, all the questions that you address here in your first paragraph or your lead paragraph, you elaborate it in the second portion of your paragraph. After elaboration of your first paragraph, moving towards the end of our news story, we write down additional information. As mentioned, what is the current situation of the incident? In general, this is what your news story format should look like. Don't forget to make a box. Your headlines here, byline, Right below byline your date and your address, your lead paragraph, and in the last paragraph, what is the current status or your additional info. A newspaper article also follows the similar format. It is just that our news story is more research based, but our newspaper article is more opinion based. However, there are a few facts about it. It is not completely baseless. Homework. The use of AI in the technology is not only making people's lives easier, but bringing new challenges. Write a newspaper article about the challenges brought by the advancement of AI in technology. So, it is usually mentioned in the question in itself whether the student is supposed to write a news story or a newspaper article. But what if it is not mentioned? In that scenario, you are supposed to read the question. What is it asking you to write on? If it is asking you to write about any events, any accidents perhaps, then assume that it is about news story. But if the question is diverting itself towards an opinion like question, simply understand that you have to write a newspaper article. If you are able to distinguish just by reading the question, it will be far more easier for you as a student who is going to appear SEE examinations. How did your class go today? If you have any suggestions or feedback, feel free to reach out to us at learning@dearwalk.edu.np. See you in the next class with another lesson. Thank you.